ethically and responsibly, because she ends up being what I call the ultimate psychic, which means she has mind control. And it's kind of the psychological debate of, what do you do when you give a mentally ill person free reign?
Oh, wow.
She has to decide how to use it the right way,
Yeah.
while also like battling her own wills.
Thank you for joining us today. We're excited you're here to meet the author of today's book. Welcome to Digital Book Nook's Meet the Author show, where you can discover your next great book. With your host, D.G. Thomas. Enjoy the show.
Hi, and welcome to today's Meet the Author show. If you enjoy psychological thrillers, then you are in for a treat today to learn more about today's book and today's author. I'm really excited to introduce you to Sophie Servaes, who is here to discuss her book, Tempest, Force of Will. Sophie Servaes is a first-time author who resides in Kansas. Tempest, Force of Will is her first novel. Writing is a hobby for her, but she hopes it will turn into a career one day. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Sophie. Hi, Sophie.
Hi.
Welcome to the Meet the Author show.
Thank you.
We're excited to have you here and to discuss your book, Tempest, Force of Will. So if you want to start out, just tell us a little bit about the book.
Okay, so the book starts off with the main character, Cora Garcia. She is in a very negative part of her life. She checks herself into a mental hospital and just kind of recovers a little bit from some of the emotions she's feeling. But it doesn't get better when she gets out, because she is kidnapped by a man who believes that she is his disappeared girlfriend. His girlfriend disappeared, and he thinks that Cora is her, but with amnesia. Wacky shenanigans happen, and they end up becoming unlikely friends. And before James, the guy who takes her, before James lets her go, he tells her, hey, watch out. There are some people who I think took my girlfriend, Hannah. I mistook you for Hannah, so they could be after you too. By the way, we have superpowers.
Oh. That's a nice twist to it, though. Yeah. Superpowers, that's different.
Yeah, and then, Cora gets powers, obviously, because it's that kind of a book. And then Cora has to learn how to wield them ethically and responsibly, because she ends up being what I call the ultimate psychic, which means she has mind control. And it's kind of the psychological debate of, what do you do when you give a mentally ill person free reign?
Oh, wow.
She has to decide how to use it the right way, while also like battling her own wills.
Oh, that sounds very interesting. So what inspired you to write a story like this?
I was just kind of writing one day. I really don't know. I just sat down and started writing. I made the characters and then the situation, and then really it just kind of popped out of my head. There's really no other way to describe it. I just sat down and started writing, and there it is.
Yeah, that's a different, I think, for a psychological thriller, the addition of the superpowers, so the sort of fantasy part, that is, I think that's uniquely different.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what can you tell us about some of the themes that readers will find in the story and what their significance are?
So a lot of the themes that I like to point out when I'm discussing the book are the themes of the illusion of free will, the illusion of what is the word I'm looking for? I knew this. The illusion of control, basically, because she has mind control, but she ends up getting on a very tight leash. So she has this great power, but she can't use it, doesn't want to use it, isn't supposed to use it. things like that. I also like to touch up on the severity of like mental health and mental health issues, and the kind of moral of the story is that it's not a bad thing to have mental health problems. It's not a bad thing to have. It's something you need to stay on top of and be aware of, but it's perfectly okay to live your life with mental health problems. It's kind of, I'm hoping like people like resonate with Cora.
Yeah. So speaking of other people resonating with that character, are there any characters in the book that you resonate with?
Cora.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Why would you think that? If you care
I would
to
say
share.
that because going back to the other question, I actually kind of wrote this because I started writing it because I was like writing out my own experiences in like a mental health hospital and like what I was thinking of when I was there, and like so it started off as kind of like a journal entry from like a, I don't know, but
Yeah.
then it turned into a different story and just kind of ran with it. So Cora's experience kind of mirror my own in like the first chapter, and then everything else is like from here.
Okay. So are you working on any other projects?
I am. So Force of Will, it was going to be so I wrote Force of Will to be one big story, and then I started talking to publishers, and they were like, whoa girl, that's a really big book. You should split it into 3 books. So I wrote it all to be one big Force of Will. But since it's so big, I have to split it into 3 stories, so it is a trilogy.
Nice.
Tempest is the first one. I'm going to work on the second one getting released. That will be Aegle, spelled Aegle. And then the third one, I haven't decided if I'm going to name it Sower or Anax, which Anax.
Anax. What is that?
Spoilers for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
They're all code names from characters that you're going to meet.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds so interesting. We're really looking forward to hearing more about the trilogy and reading about this book, though, this first one. And congratulations on your first book. It's really exciting. And we're looking forward to see more from you. But I want our readers to see where the book is available. It is at, there you go. It's available at Amazon. And pick up a copy today. And thank you so much for joining us today and telling us about your book, and continue on with your wonderful journey in writing this trilogy.
Thank you.
Thank you. And for our readers, once again, it's available at Amazon.com. You can pick up a copy today. And then also, please follow up on the Digital Book Nook blog to read the rest of Sophie's interview that we have posted on the blog. Thanks again for joining us, and have a great day.